Hello, everybody. It's your boy Syd from behind that suit, specifically Rockin' Beards. You may notice that my setting's a little different than it usually is right now. That's because I am sitting at home getting over a little bit of a cold, which is why my voice sounds a little weird. And it is also minus ridiculous shit outside. Like, it's colder in Montreal right now than it is in the North Pole, so I'm just not going anywhere. That's why I'm not at Holden's right now. But we are putting together these little top 10 or these top tracks or albums or whatever of the year. And I already put out a top 10 albums of the year on the music website that I write for, bucketlistmusicreviews.com. I'm sure that'll be linked up here. You can go check that out. So what I thought I'd do for you guys is go through just some of my favorite songs, my 10 favorite songs from albums I've reviewed, specifically on Rockin' Beards or Classic Quest or whatever have you this year. Just to give you an idea of what I really liked. And I want to thank you guys for sticking with us. I might be addressing very generally some of the comments you guys have hit me with. I might not. We'll see. Depends on the song, and these are really in no particular order. I didn't really. There will be one that's very much a standout favorite, but the rest of them, I mean, these are all really good songs. So I'm gonna start it off. And you know, there's our grind to 1,000 contest. Holden tells you about that. I'm not gonna. He's better at explaining that than I am. So check that out. And again, really appreciate you guys sticking through with us. Happy holidays, happy new year, more albums to review in 2018. Stick with it, guys. So here we go. Favorite songs in really no particular order of 2017 that I reviewed on Behind That Suit. Björk, Utopia. If you watch the video, you know that this song or this album really, we just had no idea what to say. We decided to do Björk because, you know, she's a big name, people like her. We'd never really heard of her, so we thought it was a good opportunity to dive into something new, something different, and it really was something new and something different. And this song in particular really stuck with me. It's still on my playlist. When it comes on, I can't help but smile. It's the title track on the album, and it really, you know, it transports you to this place of just like happiness and serenity, with like an undercurrent of kind of just like a little bit of menace in there, but it's really strange, really off meter, and it's a great track, man. You should, if you like bizarre music, I guess you would call it avant-garde or new age music, you should check out this Björk record, Utopia. It's really cool. It's really something different. Next song on the list was the underdog this year, Lil Peep. Rest in peace, Lil Peep. Save that shit. There's not a lot to say about this one. I mean, I got to see Lil Peep a couple weeks before he died. He stopped off in Montreal for a tour. He had a local rapper named Nate Husser opening up for him. If you've never checked this guy out, I recommend him too. Really solid rhymes, really solid production. He's got a good track called Saint Catherine. It's very Montreal specific, but it's a really decent track. It's cool. In terms of the Peep track, it really fits with what's on the entire album, Come Over When You're Sober Part 1. It's kind of this like almost 90s grunge instrumental, mixed with a little bit of trap, and then Peep is spinning his emo. This one's a little more in line with I guess the gangster rap aesthetic, but it's still very much it's still very introspective. It's still, you know, about a breakup as much as it's about getting rich. But it's a really cool record, man. It's too bad that he died the way he did. Because he had something cool, and I would have liked to have heard what he was going to come up with for part 2. But again, if you're interested in what you know, emo is evolving into, and it's not going the places everyone thought it was going to go, I think back in, especially back when like Rites of Spring and Fugazi were doing it, and then, kind of evolved a little bit into like the scrams bands, and then the metalcore and the post-hardcore, and it got really heavy, and it got really, really emotional, and Taking Back Sunday, and like, then my Chemical Romance took it all to weird fucking places, but this is something new entirely, so it's really cool. And you can check out the Goth Boy clique. That's the clique that Peep was part of, who are still kind of carrying on, I think, this emo trap kind of trend. So it's new, it's different. You might not like it if you're not into the whole whining about relationships thing, or you're whatever. But if you're curious to see what the kids are listening to, because I'll tell you, I was at this concert, and a lot of these kids, most of them were between the ages of 16 and 18. I felt like the old man out. But it's cool to see what the kids are listening to if you want to be up to date with that, see where the trends are going. It's a very interesting listen, at least once. Give it a listen. Might not be your cup of tea. It's a very polarizing record. I've spoken to a lot of hip hop heads who hate it. I've spoken to a lot of hip hop heads who like it. So you make your own decision on that. You can check out our review. That's the only Classic Quest video I was on this year. But it's definitely worth a listen, just to hear what it is exactly, because it's very different, it's very new, something else. I know Anthony Fantano didn't like it, but Anthony Fantano doesn't like much, so that one's for you, buddy. Next, Bag of Bones by the Bare Naked Ladies. This one was, this record was not my favorite record of the year by far. It was, I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought it was kind of a by the numbers Canadian country folk record, except for this one song. The rest of the song, there's some good hooks. There's some good nostalgic kind of songs going on. But this song was really, it was a lot of different genres that got thrown together. And like I said in the review of the album, I felt like the thing that kept the song from being a perfect song was that it just felt like it was the only attempt that they made on the record, and it felt like they threw all of their weirdness into that, where they could have maybe expanded it a little bit more over the rest of the record. But the song itself is just this really strange mix of all these different styles, and it's just tongue-in-cheek, and it's like a good version of Who Let the Dogs Out. It's just a strange song. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to see the Bare Naked Ladies getting weird this far into their career. So, check it out if you're a B&L fan, or if you're not a B&L fan, because it doesn't really sound like them at all. It's just a strange piece of music. And it's really fun. It's really upbeat. It's really, it's got a lot of energy. So, yeah, it makes my list. The next one is Heaven Upside Down by Marilyn Manson. And, I know I wasn't kind to this record either. But this song is the exception, because this is the one song on the record that I really felt represented growth, that it really represented a place that wasn't trying to kind of recapture the magic of like Manson's old 90s scary records. This one was a little more in line with something like Eat Me, Drink Me, but like not as long, not as self-indulgent. It had a really good hook, just kind of a straight old school rocker, no bullshit. The lyrics are a little silly, but you expect that with Marilyn Manson now. And as for a title track for a record, it really delivered. I think I gave it a 5 in the review. It's still on my playlist. I really do enjoy it. It's a good track. It's a good track for current day Manson, and I hope that he kind of pursues that direction in the future, as opposed to like trying to get that angry industrial sound back to a place where it's going to scare people, because I don't think it will. And if you're 50 years old and singing about doing a bunch of cocaine, you're not scary, you're just stupid. But this song is sorry, but this song is really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's a good track. What's next on my list here?
Next up, got Diablo Swing Orchestra, Knucklehugs. And I mean, look, if I could put this, I got to this record before I did the top 10 for Bucket List, up here, or down there, wherever he decides to put it. But this song is kind of representative of the weirdness that you're gonna get on this record, and we just did this one really recently, and this record couldn't make my top 10. Like I said, it couldn't make my top 10 albums, so I put this song here to kind of represent the entire record. And shout out to Diablo Swing Orchestra again for sharing that review. Really appreciate it. It was really cool of you guys to do that. But yeah, I mean, this song is just, and this album, this record is just full of all kinds of genres. You've got gypsy jazz, you've got swing, you've got like violins, like Appalachian style, like mountain to southern violins. You've got metal, you've got like punk rock. It's just a big mix of, and it's not like a heavy record. It's really not, but it's a really cool record. And I really recommend checking it out if you're a fan of like Mr. Bungle or Faith No More or anything like that. It's got a lot of, it's very diverse in the lyrics too, very diverse in the delivery. They've got a new singer for this record, and she's not as operatic from what I understand it. I still haven't dived back into, I'm sorry, I still haven't dived back into their older discography. I should, I know I really should, I've been busy. But this album really blew me away. I think it's one of my favorites this year, and I really recommend it. What's next? Next is Dear Life by Beck. Dear Life by Beck has a song that has been stuck in my head since the day I heard it, and it's funny because it's something that plays on the local rock stations, and it was on rotation when he started promoting the record. The single came out, and I kept hearing it with my roommate, and we kept hearing this song, and we kept looking it up because we were like, what is this? This is really cool. And it happened 2 or 3 times. We didn't realize it was the same song that we kept looking it up until finally, we made the point to download it, and now we have it. And then we heard the record. Holden and I reviewed the record, and it's a great record. Just Beck once again delivers. And yeah, this song is it's so catchy, and it's so sincere and so honest. It's just a great hook, a great little blues piano lick going through it too. Very bouncy. Yeah, cool track. So what's next? Okay, next we got my boy Dave Grohl and the Foos with Run. Which Dave has said he thinks it sounds like Slayer mixed with I don't know, I don't remember what else he said it sounded. I don't hear Slayer on this track. Sorry. With that, like he didn't realize that it has like the same drum beat as Despacito. It has that like kind of reggaeton drum beat. But it's a very cool track. The aforementioned reggaeton drum beat is over this like really gnarly riff that's just gonna get you like wilding out. The music video is of a particularly special mention too, because not only does it bring back not only is it a bunch of old people in a nursing home going crazy and like flashing and getting drunk and like giving the rock concert experience, but it features the return of the nurse from Enema of the State. If any of you were Blink-182 fans in the mid-90s, the nurse that graced the cover of that album and the music video for, I think it's What's My Age Again. It's the same actress who's back. She's playing a bit of a different role here, a much meaner role, but it's the same nurse, same plus symbol on her whatever hat, nurse hat. So that's kind of a cool little Easter egg. And the song is it's got this beautiful Foo Fighters-y kind of clean guitar introduction that you've come to expect. Songs like The Pretender or anything off of off Wasting Light, but it gets really, really heavy and really, really nasty, and it evolves really well. And then the next song is also a Foo Fighters song. They are the only band to make this list twice, because I had to give this record props, man. I think it's my favorite Foo Fighters record of their entire back catalog, and I've been listening to the Foo Fighters for a long time, so that's saying something. But it's The Sky Is a Neighborhood. And I know a lot of people felt like this one was a little too poppy for them. I really liked the stop-start rhythm. I really, really like Dave's vocal delivery on this song. It is so on point. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Sky is a neighborhood, so keep it down. Bang it on the ceiling, whatever. It's just such a good song. You feel the emotion. You feel the emotion all the way through this new record, Concrete and Gold. It's a really solid record. But this song in particular, these first two songs, you know. Sorry, the first song is T-shirts. Sky's a Neighborhood and Run, the second and third song, excuse me. But this track is also really, really good, really well done, and it has this kind of like lullaby feel right in the middle of it, and then it picks back up with the "Oh my dear, heaven is a big bad now, gotta get to sleep somehow." It's just a really good song, really well executed, really well produced. Okay. Next song. Next song is probably my favorite song of the year. It's from another record from a well-respected band that a lot of people felt had a lackluster release. Sorry about that, cheers. On Behind That Suit, we disagreed. We felt like the new Queens of the Stone Age album was really, really solid. Very much on par with, for me, something like Era Vulgaris, which, again, when that record came out, a lot of people shat on it, and since then it's gotten a little bit of retroactive respect. But that, you know, I really like that album because of its weirdness. I know it's not as heavy as a lot of other Queens records, but it makes up for it by being very strange and being very out there. And I feel like that's what Villains does too. So I liked The Evil Has Landed. It is my favorite song of the year, and you know what it is? It's just for such a simple reason. It's a motherfucker of a song. It's really long, but for me, it's just the harmonies and the chorus that introduce the song, and then the riff that comes in is so perfect. It's not a complicated riff. It's like a classic bluesy metal riff. But it's just so driving and so pumping, and then the verse comes in, and it's like the stop-start kind of verse that you love the Queens of the Stone Age for, with the odd choice of chords, these quirky like diminished major chords, and it goes back into that harmonized. You can feel the coldness in the harmonies. You can feel that the evil has landed, you know. And then there's just all these tasty jam sections all over the song. And I know Josh Homme kicked a photographer recently, and everyone hates him, and he's a dick. I can't defend the guy for it. I watched the video, and unfortunately, he's playing this song. They're playing this song, and he just kind of walks over and kicks a photographer in the face, and piece of shit. But you know what? Bad people make good music. It happens, and I still love this song. I can't hate it. It's still my favorite song of the year. And if he goes to jail for this, I won't be mad, or if he has to pay a fine or something, whatever. It turns out he's fucking abusive to photographers for some reason, but still love the track. Gotta give it, you know, respect where respect is due. Last but not least, I thought I'd leave you guys with one that's gonna leave you scratching your heads. I think this was the second record that I did with. It was either the first or the second Behind That Suit album I ever actually reviewed. With Holden and Jay back in the summer, and it's the title track off of Nickelback's Feed the Machine. Because it's such a great radio rock tune, and that's what Nickelback are really good at. They're really good at pumping out these above par
radio rock bangers and sometimes below par radio rock ballads, which is, I think, what people hate them for more. But this song is just it's got a real message. It's not a complex message. It's not subtle. You can you can tell, pay with your life, whatever, feed the machine, you're all puppets, yada yada yada. But it's honest and it's sincere, and it's something that this late in a pop band's career to release a protest record like this is cool, because it shows a lot of self-reflection and a lot of self-doubt, and it shows a band that's maturing and realizing that they don't have to crank out these like sex bar songs necessarily all the time to stay relevant. And it also shows a band that's looking around them and understanding that things are a little bit off, things are a little bit strange, and maybe it's time that they say something about it. Musically, it's got a great riff. It's a great album opener. You know, I'm all about the album openers. It's got a killer solo. It's got some really nice vocal work. The only thing that I didn't like so much about the song was the amount of clean production on it. Like, it's so clean, it's almost candy. But other than that, this song is really good. It's really rocking. I saw them performing live this summer too, and they nailed it. So this one definitely makes the list. I don't remember whether the album made my list. I don't think it did. I'm not that much of a Nickelback fanboy. The album had its problems too, but this is a rocker. Even if you hate Nickelback, you can't. I don't think you can listen to this song and really hate it unless you're just looking for things to nitpick. So yeah, that's my list. Those are my 10 favorite songs from records I've reviewed with the Rock and Beer boys and girls this year. Merry Christmas to them, Happy New Year to them, Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year to you, and we'll be back next week with a proper review. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Hope you have a great holiday. Hope your resolutions all come true. Mine probably won't. They never do, but what are you gonna do? Just be a good person, love thy neighbor, and all that shit. Peace.